California Governor Gavin Newsom back here at home paid a visit to the border to let you know he's doing everything he can to handle the migrant surge, if you can believe it. Watch this.
We're back down here at the border, Tijuana, right behind me, San Diego sector. This is the San Ysidro port of entry. We're just down here with the National Guard, meeting with customs agents as well as Border Patrol, talking about our partnerships. 390 National Guards men and women that have been working, particularly as it relates to fentanyl here in the state of California. Look at the bottom line. At the end of the day, they need more resources. Everybody needs more resources. And the Republican Party has been consistently standing in the way of providing the resources, the support for the men and women working hard, not only here at the border, but out throughout the state of California and this country to address the issues related to the border.
Tomi Lahren is host of OutKick.com, and she joins me now. Tomi, according to Gavin Newsom, Republicans are standing in the way when it comes to the border issue. How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, Carly, I wish I loved anything in the world as much as Governor Gavin Newsom loves himself. The fact that he's standing there essentially taking a selfie video with just him in the shot, talking about how he sent all these National Guardsmen to help Border Patrol agents. But what I really love about it is when he's immediately smacked down and rebuffed by our very own Bill Melugin and Matt Finn, who have spent time in the area of Jacumba, which is actually seeing the migrant crossings, the illegal immigrant crossings from all over the world. And they tweeted yesterday when Gavin put out a selfie video that they haven't seen one California National Guardsman. They talked to Border Patrol that said we haven't seen one California National Guardsman here to help us where we need it the most, where the illegal immigrants are actually streaming in. And in fact, they said that Border Patrol is so overwhelmed that these migrants, these illegal immigrants, are actually catching Lyfts and Ubers to get themselves closer to processing because Border Patrol is so overwhelmed with the lines. So the fact that Gavin Newsom would stand there and take a vanity shot of himself and bold-faced lie to his constituents and the American people, well, it's so textbook Gavin Newsom it actually hurts.
Yeah, and Bill Melugin posted on X that he hasn't seen not one single California National Guard soldier in Jacumba, and he sent Governor Newsom's message to a Border Patrol agent in Jacumba who responded by laughing and telling me California isn't doing bleep to help them with illegal crossings, to your point. Tomi, we also want to ask you about this New York Times op-ed that was written by Bret Stephens, titled "The Most Courageous Thing That Joe Biden Can Do." And what he's talking about is stepping aside. He says it all leaves the president with one option that can be a win for America and ultimately his place in history. He could still choose not to run, to cede the field to a Democrat who can win, paging Josh Shapiro or Gretchen Whitmer, and do the hard and brave thing it will take to secure security and peace for the free world. What do you think about that?
Well, similar to Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden also really loves himself. So I think it's going to be quite difficult to get him to let go of the reins there. But speaking of Gavin Newsom, I have firmly said for over 2 years now that I do believe Gavin Newsom is going to be the nominee. These other names that are being thrown out, I don't believe have put in the groundwork that Gavin Newsom has to get that nomination. I mean, Gavin Newsom has essentially been running a shadow campaign for at least the last 6 to 8 months. He's been going to red states. He's been putting out these selfie videos, trying to put forward a constitutional amendment on gun control. I mean, Gavin Newsom has been putting in the effort and the shadow campaign right around Joe Biden. So while I agree that Joe Biden will not be the nominee and they will eventually convince him to step aside, I don't believe it's going to be any of those other names. I do believe it's going to be Gavin Newsom, which is another reason why it's so important that we call out California Governor Newsom's lies about the border and we look at the mess that he has made for the great state of California. If you don't want a California, you're America. Well, Joe Biden's not your answer. Gavin Newsom's certainly not your answer, and I can't think of a Democrat that is.
Well, the DNC plans to nominate Biden-Harris as virtually before their convention, so the clock is ticking on a replacement. Tomi, thank you so much. Have a great Friday.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.